Mommy, see your picking. So come. Mommy, see your picking. Mommy. I beg,
All right. So I'm sure some of us may have seen this video that has been trending online since yesterday. Yes, a video of our people that has been kidnapped. And the kidnappers, these people, they made a video, even video themselves, though they cover themselves, they cover their faces, but they videoed the kidnappers and posted it on social media. And it seems nobody is talking about it. Even our security agencies, it seems nobody is saying anything about it. Everybody just see it and probably watched it and scroll up. And nothing is happening. You know that popular saying in Igbo that yes, we may not understand all this. We may be laughing over all this until probably one day it will touch somebody related to us. That may be the day we start to speak. Oh yes. You know what? I don't want to talk too much. I want to show you another video. Maybe after watching some of these videos, maybe you begin to realize some of the things we are saying. Please take a little time, watch this video.
This is our Reverend Imafidon. They just passed me a few minutes ago at Buluku, only to reach Obio. They ran into herdsmen, Fulani herdsmen. They carried him, carried a lot of, even his bag. They break his head. Look at him. Look at my pastor. Look at his cloth. They tear his cloth, new cloth that he wear. I greeted him a few minutes ago. The bag containing the money he has, both handset, everything. They have carried it. They have carried it. So look at the sign now. Look at now. Fulani herdsmen just carried him and this woman. Look at the other woman. They have 3 persons. Look at them here. So this is Obio by Ezechime. By Ezechime secondary school here. This from church. So he's just coming back from Obashuku church, going back to Abo. So that is it.
Now, the essence of me bringing all these videos to you is to show you what this nation has turned into. Oh yes, but you know what? Despite all this, the one who has come out to fight for his people, the one who has, tried as much as he can to speak for his people, is being held hostage. Oh yes. What a funny country. Sometimes I sit down, I remember some of the things that is happening in Nigeria, and then I begin to ask myself, God, like how? Anyway, please, take a little time once again. Please, I beg you, take a little time once again and watch this video and see what Senator Nnamdi said in the Senate chambers a couple of days ago. Please watch it.
Do we want to really be true to ourselves? And do we really want to be true to our calling here as senators? And the reason why I ask that is very simple, Mr. President. I have been here for a very long time. And for each session I've been here, we have had security summits. Each session. In fact, the last one, we were part of setting it up and then we did everything. At the end of the day, nothing came out of it. So, there is no one of us here who does not know what is going on in his area. Do we want to be true and fair and say the truth about what is happening in this country? If we want to be true to ourselves, then we can go ahead with a summit. Then we can deal with this matter. But if we're just going to stand up here to now make statements so that people will see us on television, then I want to profound, Mr. President, that we will just end up doing exactly what we have been doing, make statements, and nothing will come out of it. If security is the only thing this National Assembly will achieve, then it is all will go home and drive. Mr. President, 2 years down the line, what can we say is our achievement as a parliament? How many times, Mr. President, have we interrogated committees on defense, committees on Navy, committee on Air Force, committee on police, committee on national security? These are committees that set out to achieve what the Constitution says we should achieve. Over the last 2 years, and you recall, Mr. President, too, when we were screening the service chiefs, here we raised a question, one of the questions that was raised to the Chief of Air Staff, where is our Tucano? Where is our Tucano aircraft? Fighter jets. And you also recall, this Tucano was purchased by no less than $1 billion borrowed. And the answer given to the parliament by the Chief of Air Staff was, Tucano is in our domain, but we can no longer use Tucano because they have signed a contract which limited the operations of this Tucano. If you know ab initio that this Tucano has limitations, inhibition for usage, why in the first instance did you buy them? How much did you buy them? Who ordered the contract? Who did the procurement? Where are the Tucanos physically? Mr. President, we cannot, for having a divided
The two Senator, you are protected.
Thank you, sir. Mr. President, this issue of security is troubling. And day in, day out, we are losing our servicemen to this insurgent. Day in, day out, all across this country. It is not one state or the other. It is almost all the 36 states of the Federation. And I'm not going to stand up and claim that the president is doing his best. The only time that we can say the president is doing his best is when we interrogate the implementation of the 2023 appropriation, the implementation of the 2024 appropriation as it pertains to security. You recall, Mr. President, the National Security Advisor was invited last year, and he came forward and told us, point blank, that not enough appropriation was released to the security apparatus. We are here in the very comfortable confines of Abuja, but I can tell you, in a very short time, I'm not a pessimist, in a very short time, if care is not taken, these bandits that are running towns and villages in Benue, in Zamfara, in Sokoto, in Kebbi, are gradually moving into the close neighborhood of this city. Today, Mr. President, I can confirm to you authoritatively that you can no longer go to Kwali, go to Kubwa, and these suburbs beyond 9 to 10 o'clock in the evening because of fear of being taken away. And therefore, consequently, it is important, Mr. President, to acknowledge if we continue keep on doing things without result and keep on doing them, we are not only deceiving ourselves, we are deceiving the people that sent us here to represent them. I am not sure whether the solutions has to do with creating a summit. First, Mr. President, we must be able to interrogate our committees in a session with the executive to come forward and inform us what goes into their budget 2023, 2024, 2025, and what comes out into the implementation of the budget. Secondly, I do not think it will be fair to the security chiefs if we just go ahead and do a security summit. We must interrogate them one by one, subjecting them to the findings of the appropriate standing committees. Committees are created to serve as liaison to the Senate. As a committee, you don't need to have an information and you sit on it. Sitting on it will not give you any desired effect. Once you have security reports and the security architecture of this country, you could visibly see they are getting overwhelmed. Lastly, Mr. President, in the course of the interrogation, let's find how many number of military personnel do you have. How many are in the Air Force? How many are in the Navy? How many are in the Army? How many are in the police? How many are in the Office of National Security Officer? How many are in the NIA? And so on and so forth. We can't sit down and begin to believe that when we speak big grammar, it will solve the problem. It is much, much more than that. And Mr. President, like I said, during the speech, you had speech on the second session of the 10th Senate. The second session of the 10th Senate. This is a matter that you must lead. This is a matter that you must personally lead. It is not just enough to assign these responsibilities to committee chairman, because I don't like to assume that this committee chairman failed. But I would like to believe we have not called these committees to action, interrogate them, to be able to find out what are they actually doing. And not only all this security committee, every committee, it is the responsibility of the leadership, of course, under the leadership of this Senate leader, to interrogate committees. What do we do? What are we doing? What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? And then the chamber will also contribute. I believe speaking in this manner, in plenary like this, is not going to bring any solution. And I believe the points raised by Senator Jumo, they're apt, they're germane. But I believe security summit is not the solution. It's much, much, much more than that. We need to do our homework. We need to bring data. We need to go to see the president with bad data. Lastly, sir, it makes people a lot of wonder about so many things going under the leadership of the security support. I'm not questioning their integrity, but I believe the servicemen are not getting their due protection, their due appreciation. They are not getting their due. They are not being paid back. And you see, in the last 20 months, we have lost almost 520 service chiefs, all across servicemen, all across our armed forces. For how long can we continue to lose them? And the thousands of people, thousands of Nigerians that have been kidnapped on a daily basis. It is no longer any issue. People come to house and they'll just kidnap you. And when you pay, they release you. And nothing has ever happened because the security servicemen are incapacitated. They are handicapped. Finally, last week on my way out of Lagos, I met someone who told me there is a possible invasion of Mahmudawa, a security outfit, all the way from Mauritania, and they are getting into Kwara and Oyo, and they are beginning to settle down there. Today, sir, the entire suburbs of this city called FCT is surrounded by illegal miners. And you remember what put Zamfara at the core terrorist striking area is mining. The entire gap between Abuja and Lokoja has been taken over by illegal mining. And they do it openly, clearly openly, and nobody questions them. And people are busy buying plots between here and Kuje and Lokoja, just because we were told there are mineral deposits there, and therefore the business has opened. And when you open that kind of business, make no doubt about that, the entire populace of this city is at risk. I shall submit, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, if you notice the insecurity retreat, it is, and then Senator Ningi has raised a vital issue, which is, are we interrogating the chairman of our various security committees in the Senate? Chairman of Defense, Chairman of Navy, Chairman of Army, Chairman of National Security, Chairman of Air Force, and all. Are we even interrogating them? That's the question. And that the Senate leader ought to periodically compile the workings of the various committees and report back to the Senate. But that has not been done because he is probably yet to have a meeting with all the Senate committee chairmen. And then he should be able to get written reports from them and communicate them to us. We don't need to discuss it in plenary. We can do so in closed session. So, but the question we need to answer now is that in view of the escalating insecurity in the country, which sometimes may be politically motivated, sometimes may be as a result of movement of farmers or headers here and there, and sometimes maybe as a result of terrorism and intentional acts of sabotage of the government or a direct attack on Nigerians from our enemies, from foreign countries. You know, so should we convene a 2-day or a 3-day security retreat where we will sit down, invite major stakeholders, including the traditional institutions, including people who are experts in other fields, then including even the state governors and practitioners in the security sector, so that we can compile something and come out with a communique that will help Nigeria moving forward. Senator Baribe. Senator Baribe is one of them. So when they stand up to
Thank you, Mr. President.
we must listen.
My name is Nnamdi Baribe, and do we want to really be true to ourselves? And do we really want to be true to our calling here as senators? And the reason why I ask that is very simple, Mr. President. I have been here for a very long time. And for each session I've been here, we have had security summits. Each session. In fact, the last one, we were part of setting it up, and then we did everything. At the end of the day, nothing came out of it. So, there is no one of us here who does not know what is going on in his area. Do we want to be true and fair and say the truth about what is happening in this country? If we want to be true to ourselves, then we can go ahead with a summit. Then we can deal with this matter. But if we're just going to stand up here to now make statements so that people will see us on television, then I want to profound, Mr. President, that we will just end up doing exactly what we have been doing, make statements, and nothing will come out of it. I so submit. What is before us here now is whether we should convoke the National Security Summit. And Mr. President, if you ask me, I will say the answer is yes. Because, Mr. President, security is everybody's business. And these security challenges occur in various parts of Nigeria in various dimensions. It has become increasingly compelling, therefore, Mr. President, that in providing security solutions to our security challenges, there is no one size fits all. And so, every day you read in the social media, senators are held responsible for insecurity in their various domains. Some out of lack of understanding, some out of mischief. Governors are held responsible, Mr. President is held responsible, yet every day we find activities within the Senate here challenging the challenges of insecurity. And so, Mr. President, that we have provided solutions in the past and they have not worked or they have not been implemented will not stop us from providing solutions. On several occasions in this Senate, in the 9th and 10th, solutions have been profiled, resolutions have been passed here on the need to rejig our security architecture. And so, now that we are confronted with this hydra-headed insecurity, because in my constituency, Mr. President, almost every day, almost on a daily basis, buses are seized, drivers are killed, especially in Otugbo, and passengers are abducted, or they walk into somebody's house, retired immigration officer's house, and kill him. So now, it's becoming very scary that even in your homes, within my constituency now, by 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you must lock up your place. And so, sir, I think that now that we have attempted various forms in terms of solutions, and they have not given the desired results, there is nothing that stops us from continuing to explore all means of bringing this insecurity to a halt. And I think that a conference, a summit, where all Nigerians that have interest, all Nigerians that know how will come and offer their own expertise and knowledge will be an appropriate thing for this Senate to do now, at least for the image of the Senate. Let us do what we are expected to do. Convoke a summit, profile solutions, give these solutions to the executive by way of resolution of the Senate, by the executive. I think that way we'll be moving towards finding solution to the problems of insecurity in our country. Thank you, Mr. President.
So is anybody Benue Northwest Senatorial District? Mr. President, I want to thank you for allowing God to touch your eyes to see me. Because if there's anybody in these hallowed chambers that is badly affected by the security challenge this country is going through, I think I am the one. That is why I co-sponsored this motion. Your Excellency, sir, I come from a local government area that has 15 council wards. As I speak to you, all the 13 council wards have been overrun by banditry. And the new style now is that they are no longer hoisting flags. They will take over your land, occupy your compound. They are no longer destroying schools, no longer destroying markets. They are living inside those facilities. As I talk to you, I am not even sure the president is aware of the enormity of the problem confronting Benue State and other states in the north-central Nigeria in particular. So, sir, this is a very serious matter. Time was
when these people were hosting flags to establish themselves openly for the federal government to know that there was a challenge. They have now changed tactics. They have taken over most of the states in the North Central. And their peers among leaders of these sub-national units, they're not talking, either for fear of being accused of not fighting hard or for whatever purpose. So this security summit is very essential. It's very, very essential. So that we will speak. I want to associate myself with the submission made by Senator Abba Moro, that as a Senate, let us come out and tell the world that this is our own position. Let us make recommendations. If there is failure on the part of any other organ of government, let the failure be established on that part of the government. But as a Senate, we owe our people a duty to speak out, to recommend solutions, and then allow the executive to implement or not, so that we will not be completely condemned alongside with any other person who is supposed to play their own rules. So I wholeheartedly submit that there is need for the national summit to take place, and the Senate should drive it. That is our job as the representatives of the people. We should be seen as not just talking, but doing the needful. So I support the convocation of national summit. Thank you, sir.
Senator,
Here in this Senate, particularly the 8th Senate and the 9th Senate, where we had security summit. In fact, if I could recall vividly, we had 3 security summits in this Senate, and we made very detailed recommendations to the executive branch. And those recommendations, unfortunately, were not implemented. Mr. President, what we need is not security summit. We need to discuss with the service chiefs here in this chamber, one by one. We engage them into serious discussions. We tell them the emerging development, particularly the Lakurawa that is invading northwestern part of Nigeria, and also they are invading north central part of Nigeria. Just of recent, there is a new development, a new security threat, a new armed group called Bamuda. They are invading Niger and Kwara states, and very soon they'll reach Oyo State. So, Mr. President, we need to discuss with the service chiefs. There is nothing we have not discussed at the security summit. If they come, let them tell us the strategies they are using to overcome this security threat. I don't believe that having security summit is the answer. Else, what we did in the past, what happened? All the recommendations are there and they are not implemented. So I'm of the opinion that we should call the Inspector General of Police, we should call the National Security Advisor, we should call the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Air Staff, the Chief of Naval Staff, the Chief of Defense Staff, and we sit with them here and discuss thoroughly. And we hear from them the solutions they'll come up with. And Mr. President, we shouldn't even talk about taking only kinetic measures. There are non-kinetic measures that need to be taken on the part of the federal government and the state government. Virtually everything is now loaded on the federal government. When it comes to non-kinetic measures, state governments have a responsibility. Local government have a responsibility. It is by so doing that we will be able to overcome the security challenges in this country. I thought I made Mr. President.
I want to thank distinguished Senator Jimo Ibrahim for bringing this up. The only amendment I would like to propose, if it's accepted by my colleagues, is that should we agree to have a security summit, it shouldn't be 3 days. We can have a 2-day security summit. instead of 3 days. So let me go into the prayers. There is only one prayer here, because the second prayer is the outcome of the security summit. If we agree to have it, then it takes care of the second prayer, which is to forward the outcome of the security summit to the federal government for implementation. Those in support that the Senate should be in the forefront of convoking a national security summit with a view to discussing the entirety of the security situation in the country, profiling solution, and at the same time rejigging the security architecture with to enable us save the lives and properties of our citizens and give them hope and an opportunity to bring their inputs. Say aye. Those again say nay. The ayes have it. So the Senate leader, you will come out tomorrow with the composition of the ad hoc committee to plan the security summit. The security summit will compose of delegates from the states, delegates from the traditional institutions, from the student bodies, from communities affected by the insurgency, and also we will invite our colleagues in the House of Representatives and relevant committees to be part of it, and we also invite security experts to talk to us in addition to getting the executive to also partake, so that we will have a holistic discussion and debate because security is everybody's business. I want to read particularly a paragraph in the motion that led to this. Senator Jimo Ibrahim, while moving in motion, said that further aware that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is serious about the peace of Nigeria. As such, there is need for some fact-finding intelligence support from Mr. President's efforts, even of the fact that most military strategies and languages such as Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, India, Juliet, Kilo, Lima, Mike, November, Oscar, Papa, Quebec, Romeo, Syria, Tango, Uniform, Victor, Whiskey, X-Ray, Yankee are no longer exclusive to the military. This is worrisome. By the time we have that security summit, you will realize that the reason why these things have leaked to militants is because we also have a problem. The discipline, sometimes we are high-handed. When the police will throw away trained officers for minor offenses, when the army will, out of discipline, sack over 100 soldiers, many of them will go into training of militants, and then the languages that they were taught will now be passed to the militants. So we will discuss the issue of recruitment, because I believe that the security operatives are as good as their training. How do you even recruit them? Because most of these so-called militants who are training people in bushes across Nigeria were once security agents who, for one reason or the other, found their way out. So it's important. We also have to look at the strength of the fighting forces in the country. Are they sufficient to combat the rising insecurity? What about the communities? How can we best utilize the vigilantes? How can we have community policing? How can we have community protection? What should families look out for? If you suddenly see a truckload of people arrive in your market square, and then the number of ways they bring are less than what the number of people that arrive, it's a signal that when you see, you should speak. You must report them immediately. I do know that when I was a governor, I saw a situation like that. When you see 5, 6 trucks loading people and bringing them down, and they go to the abattoir to mingle around, they are coming for jailbreak. They have one of their colleagues in jail that they want to spring a surprise. And if you don't arrest them on time to interrogate them, then you have a jailbreak. So we need to discuss these issues. And I want to thank Jimo Ibrahim for bringing this up. I think it cannot be too much. Let's do our part, send the communique to the appropriate agencies, invite the experts to address us, address the nation by implication, invite those who are afflicted to also join us. So I thank the Senate for this, and I concur that the motion to have the security summit is hereby carried. Leader of the Senate.
All right. So, do we still need to talk more? Please do well to drop your comment on the comment section what you think about this video. All right. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you very much and God bless you.